welcome back to another episode of the Cozy Corner. I'm Sana, the Vice President Welfare, your host for today, and I am joined with an absolutely beautiful. Stop laughing like that.
You make me laugh.
I'm joined with the most cutest person ever, Sumaya. Do you want to introduce yourself, my love?
Thank you, Vice President. So it's a pleasure to be with the Vice President of Welfare today. My name is Sumaya. I am a second-year student, biomedical science student. Oh my God, I just messed up.
Don't worry, you're good.
And yeah, it's a pleasure to be today with in Cozy Corner podcast. Just briefly, I am part as well of the Welfare Committee, and being part of the Welfare Committee this year will help students to be around an environment, an exclusive environment and a non-judgmental environment at Aston University.
100%, yeah. So, Sumaya, you came to England in 2018.
Yes.
I want to know your story. People want to know your story.
So in 2018, my family decided to come to UK. It was one of the hardest decisions ever for my family. We've been living in Italy, so Rome, the capital, for 18 years. And my dad was literally living his whole life in Italy since 35 years. And everything was perfect in Italy. I believe everyone just hears I'm from Italy. They just start asking me questions. Oh, how was your lifestyle, the food, everything? Yeah, everything was perfect. But unfortunately, the last 4 or 5 years in Italy were not good at all because there was racism. The society could not tolerate the fact you're wearing the scarf, which is the hijab. And so they're not tolerating different cultures, different religions. And so my dad just took a step back, like forward, and he decided basically to move from Italy and come to UK. The reason he decided to come to UK was because he felt in UK there is more freedom. People are tolerating your scarf, your different culture. So we came in 2018. Me and my brothers, obviously, and my parents were struggling with the language. So it was a huge problem for us to communicate. And the language barrier was absolutely one of the things that we couldn't just learn the language straight away and then communicate with people. So it took us a lot of time and effort to learn the English language. And I remember when I came in 2018, obviously I was studying scientific high school in Italy, and it's 5 years course, and I was in the fourth year, in my final year of fourth year, and I just had 1 year left to go into uni. But obviously we decided to come to UK, so I came here. No one was helping me, no one was telling me the truth. So to find the proper course you have to do to communicate with the teachers and tell them what's your situation, it was really hard. I remember as well, I used to take my mom's friends to college just to check which courses are available, which courses I have to apply to. And I remember they were also struggling to speak in English. So yeah, it was a huge problem for us.
You also had to repeat your GCSEs, didn't you?
Yeah, so technically in Italy, once you finish this 5 years of high school, you get something called Diploma di Maturità, which is equivalent to A-levels. And with this qualifications, you're able to get into university. So unfortunately, when I showed them my 4-year qualifications, they did not want to convert my qualifications. And so technically, they did not take in consideration any of my Italian qualifications. So I had to repeat GCSEs, I had to carry on in other courses in order to arrive in Aston and study biomedical science course.
Hard because you came here and suddenly you just had to do these GCSEs.
Yes.
Which, when I came in England, I was in year 7.
Yes.
So I had all these 5 years to learn what GCSEs are, right? But still, when I had to sit the GCSE exams, part of me still didn't know the importance of what they are. And for you, it was you just came and you just have to do your GCSEs.
Yeah, I remember the day I went with my mom's friend, and I was sitting in front of GCSE teacher. She was an English teacher in college. And she said to me, Sumaya, we will do a test now for level 3 maths and English. And if you pass this test, I will allow you to enroll in the course and then do the full GCSE program. Otherwise, I'm so sorry, you will have to do 2 years of ASL course. So for anyone that doesn't know what ASL course is a language course, which basically is not equivalent to the GCSE English, but it just gives you the basics to go into and sit down GCSE English exam. And I remember that day I was sweating, I was stressed, I was like, oh my God, well, I'm unsure if I'm gonna pass the test.
Yeah.
She said she made me sit down in front of laptop and I made the test, and then luckily I passed. It's because in Italy we take the basics of English, and I'm sorry if I'm gonna say this, but whoever studied in Italy, so but the vice president of the welfare or me, Sumaya, we get a good basics of maths in general and all the rest of the subjects. And to study in high school in Italy is really hard. So you will really have to be prepared, commitment, effort, everything. So once you come to UK, you are fully ready literally to be successful. So luckily, I had a good background and I passed my tests, and she enrolled me into GCSE. I believe the first 6 months were horrible for me. I couldn't understand the teachers. I could not understand what they were saying. But good news, I passed from first time my GCSEs. So I remember I was sitting with people in my course repeating GCSE English for the 4th time, which I do understand. It's hard, but obviously I made effort. I put effort in my studies, and then I passed GCSEs.
Because what they teach you in Italy, is pizza toppings.
Yeah.
and basic words. And when you come here, I remember when a week before coming to England, I said to my mom, "Oh, I'll be fine. I'm getting 10 English. In my test and everything. 10 is 10, by the way, is the highest. You could get an A star in English when you're in school. And I was I'll be fine. I know English. I came here." And the way people were talking, for 3 years straight, I could not speak.
Same issue, especially the Birmingham accent. Oh my God. I could not even understand a child 7 years old telling me what he wants from me, in the road. It was really hard.
It's about the way they speak it.
Yeah.
And the way you said that people don't tell you the truth when you come here.
Yes.
I think the best way I could explain this is that you're moving to a new country, right? Your whole career is dependent on the high schools, the colleges, the universities in that country, and you try to get some advice.
Yeah.
Some people you can't understand them because they speak English.
True.
Others, and the people that I could understand were my relatives.
Yeah.
And I don't know what kind of advice they're giving me, right?
True. It's when it comes to
you just can't trust it, but your whole life is just your whole career.
See, for in your example, you couldn't understand your relatives. For us, we don't have any relatives in the country, and all we had was some people from my dad's side, some friends from my mom's side, few friends of my brothers. But it's really hard to literally go and ask them, please, can you help me? Because there will be no help from these people. All you have to do is doing your research before leaving the country you're coming from and coming into UK. Because for me, for example, if I did my research before leaving Italy, I will be my final year now, for example, already graduated, but I did not do my research properly, and so I had to literally repeat everything again. So yeah.
Where are you from originally?
So originally I'm Egyptian, so I am from Alexandria of Egypt. And I go to Egypt every single holiday, definitely. Summer holidays are best in Egypt. I cannot stay in Birmingham the whole summer. And sometimes we go to Italy as well.
Yeah, me and Sumaya are planning a trip.
Yes, Milan and Rome, this is my list.
So you said you're doing biomedical science?
Biomedical science, course.
How did you know which course to do then? Where did you get your advice from? How did you choose your course?
Yeah, so starting from GCSE program is the year where I was looking at UCAS website and checking, courses available, how I'm gonna get into this courses, the qualifications I have. And technically in Italy, because I had high grades in high school, so technically I was meant to apply for medicine or dentistry. If you get more than 80% in your final year, then you're able to access any healthcare courses or medicine or dentistry courses. So this was my plan before planning to come to UK. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do my final year in Italy. So when I finished my GCSE and I got reasonable grades, I decided to do A-levels. But then thinking about A-levels, I technically done them in Italy, and I am getting older, and then I need to access university as soon as possible. So I decided to do access course to science. It's a 1-year course available in college for people over 19. And it's literally equivalent to 2 years of A-levels, but it's hard because you have to study 2 years of A-levels in 1 year. Finally, when in the middle of my course, in access course, I checked websites, and then they were saying, obviously, you cannot access medicine or dentistry with access course. Yeah. So the only scientific course that was, I liked and everything, the description and the requirements and everything, was biomedical science. So they allowed me to go into biomedical science course in Aston with my access course. Something that not many universities offers. So I think for this reason I accepted Aston, and it was my first choice.
So how's this course treating you? How's university treating you as an international student?
So before, obviously, starting my course, I was lost. My language was not still good enough to communicate, make friends, socializing around. Once I started university, I can't say I felt free. I felt there is freedom. I was able to be confident for the first time, be professional, trying to communicate with people, make friends. And by the way, making friends in university, these friends will be with you the rest of your life. It's because people in university, they're more mature. And in college, obviously, I couldn't make any friends or just socialize with people. So when I started the course, everything was perfect. I was making friends, confident. I even applied for jobs in university, like student ambassador, trying to know how things are working in university. And then, slowly, once you don't have any language barrier, then automatically you will engage with people.
Yeah. The language barrier has been, a massive, issue.
A massive issue because...
I remember when I did your little interview for the welfare committee.
Yes.
One of the things that you pointed out was having, counselling services.
Yes.
That have, people, staff who can speak different languages.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so when I started my GCSEs, I was having anxiety, depression, we can say mental health issues as well. So just changing from a country to another country, moving from country to country is already really hard itself.
Yes,
and once you're doing your studies and you're trying to learn the language, it will automatically affect your mental health. So one day I decided to go to the counselor, and then the staff in college told me, it's free session, 1 hour, you can speak to the counselor, talk to them about everything. I went there, sat down, and then the counselor couldn't understand what I was saying, because it was a few words in English, few words in Arabic, maybe a few words in Italian. So it was really hard, especially when you're talking to a counselor, you have to take everything out and make sure he understands what you're going through. So this, because of the language barrier, he could not understand me, and I couldn't take everything out and speak about it. So for this reason, when I made interview with the Vice President of Welfare, so with you, I suggested that the counselors should be available with different languages, because international students, some of them, they come and they speak really well, and their English language is perfect, but some other international students like me or you, they struggling to speak with a counselor. And so university, or I mean in general the welfare committee, should be taking actions regarding making counselors available with different languages, so everyone is free, everyone does not have any barriers to talk to the counselors.
No, definitely. I think even if you like can speak really good English, like obviously now my
Yeah.
English is much improved. But like,
Same.
when I'm talking about my mental health and my issues,
Yeah.
I switch back to Urdu or Italian.
Yeah.
It's because you just feel comfortable talking
Yeah.
that way.
And
Instead
some
of having
words
that,
you
you
can't
know,
even describe them in
exactly,
English.
yeah.
So for me, for example, it's easier in Italian or in Arabic.
Mhm.
For you, Urdu or Italian.
Mhm.
So this service should be available, to be honest, not in just in universities, but in general, in the
Yeah.
society in general.
Have
Yeah.
there been any services here at Aston that have helped you as an international student?
Yes. So first of all, the Fresher Weeks.
Mhm.
This is one of the most important week once you start university. So there is events, you can join the events, you can socialize with people, you can make friends, you can speak to international students like you. In fact, Aston, the SU in general, they organize these events to speak with the international students, get to know them. You can share your own experience with them as well. So there's this amazing events the SU is preparing,
Yeah.
and already they prepared in the Fresher Weeks, and so these events, they helped me, I think, in my first year to get to know people around, see how the university looks, see how the SU looks inside.
Yeah.
The SU team is amazing. They're offering these amazing events for international students, and I believe international students should be thanking this team that they're making events, that you make you happy.
It's
in
very
your
like in terms
university.
of how you mentioned like Welcome Week.
Yeah.
When an international student moves, because you moved with your family, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of like international students who move here alone.
Alone. Yeah.
And I remember during Welcome Week, I was walking out and people were like, "We just landed here.
Yes.
We just came.
Yeah.
Where do we put our bags? What do we do? Where do we go?" Because obviously it's so new, especially if you're coming
True.
from like India, that's like so far away.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult, and you would want to have like a warm welcome
Yes.
by the SU,
Yeah.
by the university, and I'm glad we were able
Yeah,
to do that.
when I joined the events as well this year, I think there's lots of people who are complementing this events. Some international students, I know them personally, and they're really happy about how those events were organized by the SU. And how they were making feel these international students, you are welcome in this university, and if you have any issues, we are approachable, we are friendly, you can come and speak to us. This is one of the most important steps that I believe other universities unfortunately do not offer. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like when people will listen to it, they will feel like, oh, we're not alone,
Yes.
or there's other people who feel the same.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
when we spoke,
They're going through these
when we
hardships
spoke,
together.
and the things that you said and the things that I was saying, we're like, oh my god, we relate so
Yeah,
much. There's
yeah.
so but yeah, it's just
True.
amazing. So one thing that I make everyone do at the end of the podcast episode is
Yes.
tell us a piece of an advice. It could be in English, Italian, Arabic.
Yeah, I will say in English, maybe something in
English?
Italian.
English for sure.
So my best advice to any international students deciding to come to UK and try to be successful. First of all, don't make anything hold you back.
Yeah.
Under any circumstances, people talking about you, saying bad things about you, just don't let them hold you back. So just carry on in your own word. Try to be successful. You have to be ambitious and commitment. You have to put effort in your studies, in your personality itself.
Yeah.
And the other advice I can give to international students is to be confident. If you are confident of yourself, believe me, you will go through any hardship. It just can come all of a sudden in front of you. So just try to be ambitious and think ahead about your goal.
Yeah.
And if you think ahead about your goal, trust me, nothing can literally stop you to get whatever you want from life. So yeah.
That was so cute. That was honestly so sweet.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. facciamo how do you say episode in Italian?
Un episodio.
That's so embarrassing.
Episodio.
Oh my days. Ok, again. Facciamo un episodio in italiano.
Italiano, sì.
Un giorno, sì?
Un giorno, sì.
Va bene.
Con 2 cappuccini.
Sì. E muffin as well.
Sì, muffin in
Alright, then,
cappuccino.
thank you so much for sharing this story
Oh,
with us
thank you,
today.
Vice President. It was a pleasure to be with you today.
And it's so
Thank
nice
you.
for you to be here. Alright then, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.
Bye bye, everyone. Ciao.